Hello and welcome to 4,000 Accounting, brought to you by Hurricane E-Bites. I'm Watty and this is Mark, and we are here for episode 2 of the Roundup. The weekly Roundup is back. Thanks for everyone that tuned in last week. Good few hundred of you. Hopefully, as the season goes on, that starts building up 1.5, 2K, and so on and so forth. Mark, biggest news of the day as we come in on air. Owen Sobchak is, excuse me, has been released from the Bristol Pitbulls. Bit of a shock to me. What about to you?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one.
No, nice guy. I hope he lands on his feet. Obviously, we've had him on the podcast before. Just was really excited. He had a bit of a shit end to the year with an injury, and I know how excited he was to get going and get back at it. I wonder if a team, I don't know, I did speak to Huey when I was up there about maybe if they would get an extra import. Now, I don't know if finances will allow, but he would fit into that Sheffield team real lovely.
Oh, definitely. He's a great import. He proved that in the time before his unfortunate injury, what he was capable of. And yeah, everyone was excited to see with a full season under his belt with Bristol what he could do, the damage he could do. And unfortunately, they've parted ways, but he would be a huge asset to any club in the National.
Speaking of huge assets, Phantom's new boy, 6'7", a bit of a different from Owen. He's in town. He has arrived, so it looks like he's going to be ready to rock this weekend. I think he's Owen's 5'3". Is it Ivan? Am I right in saying it's Ivan? I think.
Memory, yes. I can't remember the name.
I want to say it. I want to say it is. I did take him. Let's have a look. Where is it?
Should have had the name written down.
Yeah, well, I did have it written down, but not on the fucking screen that I've got open. But yeah, anyway, so he's checked into town. Phantom's now got their third import. They're going to be much more dangerous. They're having that extra weapon. Sladovsky, he's leading the league in scoring right now. He's on a heater. Luke Farrar, I think he's in 5th in the league in scoring it, and they're just adding another strong piece to the mix. Slava always smart with his signings. I think the way he's got that team organised this year, even though they dropped points to Bracknell at the start of the year, they'd probably be disappointed. They ultimately are going to be competing at the business end of the season all day long. They're going to be right there competing, and I think they showed last year what they can do in that cup run. So if they have to get a little taste of that cup, will they repeat, Mark? What do you reckon?
There's nothing to stop them, and I mean, like you said, the start hasn't been the best, but I think that this season there's going to be a lot of upsets. So in the grand scheme of things, they're going to be there or thereabouts. And with this recruitment, Ivan,
it is Ivan, yeah.
Ivan, yeah,
yeah, good. I was right.
Well, on paper, it looks incredible. It looks like a phenomenal signing. It's going to add a lot of strength and physicality, and wow, just a lot of excitement given his experiences playing in Sweden. So yeah, you can never write off the Phantoms making a final.
Yeah, I love the way the Swedes play hockey. I like all the leagues they have there. I think the way they organise things, the way they develop their talent, the way they coach their talent, it's fantastic. So I'm expecting big things from a big man. Mark, is there any other kind of little last minute news? Or should we go to what happened over the weekend? Because busy weekend in the Challenge Cup and the Elite League, and also a very busy weekend in the NIHL, games all over the place. Oh, yes, there is. Sorry, I do remember now. The Swindon ENL2 Wildcats have to withdraw from the NIHL 2 league due to the Link Centre ongoing issues. There was a statement released by a councillor from Swindon, I believe, yesterday, stating that the Wildcats' first game aims to be January. Now, obviously, that was a more up-to-date piece of information than I had. I put a post out saying that it was going to be December. That's because I had it on very, very good authority that it was going to be the December because their team they were lined up to play. We were having discussions regarding, that being their first game back. Now, that seems to be pushed back a couple of weeks already. Do we fear? And before we go ham on the Wildcat senior team, sorry for all the juniors and like the NIHL 2 guys, the pay to play guys. It's fucking brutal for them. I hope they go get picked up. Oxford have got a second team. The Basingstoke Buffalo are there. I believe Solent have a second team. Bristol, if they haven't already, they definitely aim to get a second team. So hopefully these guys go and get roster spots somewhere. But going back to the big dogs in town, or the big cats in town, should I say, is this bad news for the Wildcats? Will they finish the season? Obviously, it's bad news, but I mean, is it bad news, i.e. they won't finish the season?
I think this might sound a little harsh, and I don't mean it in any negative way, but given the financial involvement put into the Wildcats with players on taking some decent money, stuff like that, I think they're going to try to make things work, whether like we said last week, they can work on like playing away games. Like MK were lucky enough this weekend to give them the ice for one of their home games against themselves, but whether that can go until January, I don't know, but that seems like the only logical solution right now.
It's definitely one of them. I can't see any way how they can go the next 12 weeks without any real home games. All the season ticket money, that's probably spent on first month's rent deposits, skates, sticks, gloves, short covers, whatever the fuck it is. All the stuff you need before the season actually gets underway. So when you get that season ticket money and 1 installment, 2 installments, 3 installments over the summer, well, these are the things that you need to have bought before the season. Jerseys, multiples of jerseys, all these type of things that spend that money.
Why choose Hurricane e-bikes? Well, let me tell you, no servicing cost, no need to buy, no interest cost, no long-term agreement, no maintenance cost, no worries, because all their products come with a lifetime warranty. Hurricane are in fact the only company within the UK to offer a lifetime warranty on LCD screens, batteries, motors, all components. Guess what? Ordering from Hurricane couldn't be any easier. You just go across to hurricane.ebikes on their website, and all you got to do is literally head to the website, select your bike, add your accessories, confirm your details, and it's on its way over to you. My personal favorites are the M250 mountain bike, the M350 off-road mountain bike, and the big daddy of them all, the RS8 off-road bike. It is a beast. You can get yours from as little as £1.85 per day. So what are you waiting for? Head over to Hurricane e-bikes now and take advantage of some fantastic deals.
So you need your gate money for wages and other day-to-day running of the clubs. Obviously, sponsorship is going to be a part of that. But the stuff you lose out on, the 50-50s, the shirt off the backs, the stuff the supporters club do, and all these type of extra incomes that you then miss out on, that is going to hurt a lot, because we know what it's like. We've done charity games before. You can buy stuff online. People do. People support it, right? But not fucking half as many as if somebody stood in front of you, you've been like 50-50 ticket. You're like, yeah, go on then. Shirt off the back ticket? Yeah, go on. I might as well. I'm already here. If you have to click on a link and then go through to a site and then fucking click something else and then do that one and then go to a separate transaction and do that one, and the percentage says it will be down. No, I don't know if they can survive. I hope so. If there's a GM in the league that can make it survive, it's Steve Mel.
Agreed.
Right. There's a man there that he's sharp as a tack and he's got business acumen, and he's not surprised to ask for help either. Like if he needs help, he will get out there and he will ask the community for help and he will ask the league for help. And I don't know. I would be interested to hear the EIHL's take on this, because we talk about will they get back. Let's say they do get back by January. And let's say between now and January, we'll go to 4th, right? We'll go to 4th just because that's exactly 3 whole months. Exactly 3 whole months from now. Will they be able to play all of their home games from that short space of time? Let's say, for argument's sake, between now and then, they manage to play 6 home games on the road. You're still going to have 20 games left. These guys have jobs. How the fuck are you going to, what are you going to do? 2 midweek games a weekend? 2 midweek games, sorry, and 2 games at the weekend. You're going to have like 20 extra fixtures to fulfill. How are these guys going to get time off work? Like, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. And it equally works for the teams going down to them as well. Like, what I've felt, I don't know, that happens to be Solway once or twice. And now their guys have got to take an extra few hours off work to get down there. There's all these sort of things that are going to have to come into consideration. I just hope for Swindon's sake, whatever happens, they make it work. Got some friends on that team, and I don't want to see those boys having to have their season scrubbed.
No, absolutely not. And also the repercussions that has on the league and clubs individually. We speak about Swindon and their situation, unfortunate, but then you've got all of the season ticket commitments with the other clubs and the games that they get in that year, and they're going to have games not being fulfilled. So that's another thing in itself with the impact of losing the Wildcats, what it would have on everyone else.
Yeah. It's mad. It's completely out of their control. It was nothing to do with anything they did. So that makes it all that much more harder to swallow. Obviously, I've got a massive soft spot for Swindon. Love my time playing there. One of the best places, if not the best place I played. Always really well looked after. The fans, very knowledgeable, very sound. You don't get half as much shit as you do across some of the other clubs and organisations in the UK ice hockey. In Swindon, it just doesn't really happen. Like they're behind the team, they support the team, and they're going to be hurting right now. There's going to be a lot of people. We talked about it before, Mark. Like mental health and things like that. People feel part of the community, and if they don't get down to the ice rink and chat to their friends, maybe it's a one day a week that they get to do that. There's going to be people suffering. There's no doubt.
Yeah, there is going to have huge wrong word, but yeah, you're right. It's going to have huge impact on many situations.
Yeah, so just shout out to anyone who's struggling. DMs were always open here at 4,000 and counting. But let's just have one more brief thing. Maybe it's worth a video on its own, and you can decide right now. What's going on with UK ice rinks right fucking now? Bankstoke's falling down. We don't know if anything's going to happen there. Cardiff remove a second pad. Can't park or drive to Lee Valley. Swindon's flooding and they can't sort the fuck out. And that's just the ones within an hour from me. What's going on? Like, what the fuck? Look after our shit. Mad. It's frustrating. And I know each one of those is a different situation, and every single thing probably warrants a video of itself, but fans are frustrated. People are upset. Like, the sport is crumbling around in certain situations, and it's because of the facilities. Catch it. Oh, good hand eye there. Mark, let's go to the Elite League and discuss what's been going on in Challenge Cup and the Elite League itself.
Okay, so we'll start with Friday's result. That was in Glasgow, and they lost 4-2 to the Belfast Giants. Yeah, in the Challenge Cup. What do we think there?
Well, it is the Belfast Giants Cup as opposed to the Challenge Cup because they pretty much have their name on the trophy in September every year. Man, competitive, but Belfast run out winners, and I would be fully expecting them to make the final once again.
And it's hard to really see anyone take points. There will be teams that take points off Belfast, but it's really hard to see Belfast losing many games this year.
Yeah, especially the group they're in, and they go on the next night, Saturday night, they take on the Five Flyers. Only a 1-0 win, but it's a 1-0 win, and it's 4 points to start the Challenge Cup, and that's them already putting away at the start of the group. It really doesn't take much in terms of the Giants to get that little niggle ahead, and then when you try to play catch up, you're fucked.
Exactly.
Especially in that group format, but interesting to see how those other Scottish teams face off against each other. The rest of that Challenge Cup, who's going to be the best of the rest? Will it be the Clan? Will it be the Stars? Or will it be the Flyers? Lots of chopping and changing in all three rosters this year, so we'll see what happens. But the other games, Challenge Cup again, Guildford, they take on Coventry at home. They run out 3-2 winners. Good for them to get off the board, but the big result of the entire weekend is Sheffield running into Nottingham and sticking a 6 spot on them, 6-0. I believe they were 5-0 up after like 29 minutes or something. We asked if the rivalry's back. Nobody got murdered after them being 5-0 down after 30 minutes at home. So I'm going to say fucking no, it's not back.
Not with a result like that this early on, no. Crazy for the pre-season.
Yeah, you'd think after the rough stuff in pre-season, 5-0 down at home. Maybe someone goes out and mixes it up and shows like they actually fucking want to be there. There's going to be some pissed off Panthers fans right now. I know that for everything. Main thing that might get them away with it is the Challenge Cup. Now, if that's a league hammering, you're not going to be very happy if you're a Panthers fan. Giants, again, like we talked about, they round out the weekend's result, 1-0 win over the Flyers. Also, league games, the Manchester Storm beat the Dundee Stars. The Cardiff Devils beat the Glasgow Clan. 4-2 for the Storm, 5-2 for the Devils. A couple of home victories there, and just a real good weekend for the Manchester Storm all round. Following night, they go up and take another point in a shootout loss to Dundee. But they're currently sat at the top of the Elite League, 5 points. So, hey, will they still be there in a few weeks? Who knows?
But see, they've strengthened nicely. And I just want to say, back on the Nottingham Panthers, Sheffield Steelers, 6-0, regardless of Challenge Cup or League, I think against your rival, especially in your own barn, is pretty unacceptable. And actually, Nottingham should be in the position where Challenge Cup should be like a big target for them, considering how the seasons have been. They should be trying to take anything, but 6-0 in a derby. After that pre-season smash up, sort of expected a little bit more, I'm going to be honest. I hope it doesn't continue that way throughout the season. I hope that they get that niggle back and that this result actually sort of grinds a few gears.
Well, the Clan Devils game, there was a scrap in it, I think, in the second period. And then did you see the incident with, I think, 0.9 seconds to go? Dyson went after Crawford. Crawford didn't drop his gloves, but, the Clan man's going to throw hands. He's not going to drop his gloves and then just stand there. I'd be interested to see how those two teams pair up next time they play, because Crawford is there to score points. He's not there to get punched in the face. So I imagine there'll be a little bit of retribution going into that next game. But then the Devils, they round out a very good weekend for themselves. They got up to the Steelers in the league on Sunday. They pick up another victory. So 5-2 over the Clans, 3-2 over the Steelers, 4 points. Strong Pete Russell team. Great performance by those. Again, Ben Bounds standing on his head, a couple of goals in each game. They're going to be happy with the way he's performed this early on.
Definitely, and to get a result, again, like a huge result for them in Sheffield with what's looking like a bit of an informed side. At the time, I know it's only been a couple of games, but that's a huge statement at the beginning to really say, we are here to challenge again.
So 5 Flyers, obviously holding the Giants to 1-0, even on home ice, fantastic achievement. To then go down after what must have been a tough battle against the Giants and pick up 2 points away to the Blaze, 6-4 on a Sunday night. I think we might have a different 5 Flyers team this year.
About time as well. Refreshing to see.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's not refreshing to see, and I won't say who told me this, but it did come from many people over the weekend while I was away there. Fife basically have 3 young Brits that don't get on the fucking ice, and that's it. They just play their imports. They're just a team of imports right now. Now, I'm all for it's a result-based business and that, but come on. Let's get these fucking British boys playing here. If the ones you've got aren't good enough, get rid of them and get some that are. If they're on your roster, they should be good enough. You've signed them to play in the Elite League. Fucking play them. Now, it is a results-based business, but if these guys don't get on the ice for, say, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and then you lose 3 players in a weekend through injury, screwed. So everyone else will be up to game speed. Everyone will be up to game fitness, strength. And these guys are going to be sat with their thumb up their arse on the bench for 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. And then they're going to have to go play. And let me tell you, that's not easy. You're young, inexperienced, and you're not really getting an opportunity. Your confidence is low. They could be their own worst enemy.
Yeah, you want to be teething them throughout the league, don't you? You know, even if they're not getting regular shifts, you need to give them a little bit of ice time so that when it comes to injury cover, they're not being chucked in the deep end. At least they're going to know a bit more of the game situation, or even against the team that they're playing against. We can't have Brits. We can't afford to have Brits being sat on the bench at elite level. It's just going to do nothing for the top end of our national game.
It really isn't. I know they don't give a shit about that, but I mean, we'll harp on about it all day long. Guildford Flames, they then suffer a defeat at home in a shootout to the Panthers. Obviously, the one that gets away is a lottery. They're in a shootout, and they're currently at home. I'm just trying to have a find out the result right now. So the first period should be done in the Manchester Storm. Guildford Flames down in Guildford. It'd be interesting to see how they go, because if Manchester can get another result, woof, they're going to be very, very happy. Guildford, if they end up losing back-to-back, then they're going to be disappointed, because, you know, they're probably looking at that weekend. Coventry at home in the Challenge Cup, Panthers at home in the league. They want 2 points in each of that. I mean, they get 3. They're not going to be mad disappointed, but to get out of that group that they're in, they need to win every Challenge Cup game at home. And to be anywhere near second place in the Elite League like they were last year, they're going to have to win every game at home.
Yeah, they're going to have to use that to their advantage.
They really are.
Last year.
Right, what we got next, Mark?
So, have we wrapped up the Elite results there?
I think we have, mate. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Yeah, that is all of the Elite League. No other real news in the Elite League that I can think of. I'll have a quick scan on their website right now, but I don't remember any other major news. No. Yeah, a suspension for a check from Johnny Walker. He got 2 games. Stevenson got an automatic suspension for that instigation in the fight between Crawford. He's going to get, looks like he's going to get a game, a mandatory game. Other than that, no real news, mate. So, yeah, let's do that. NIHL National League.
So we'll start again with the reigning champions, the Leeds Knights. They beat the Peterborough Phantoms 8-4 on home ice.
It's a lot of high-scoring games to start this season.
Wait till you hear the rest of the results.
Oh, I know. There's results flying in, goals flying in, left, right, and centre. Are the goalies getting worse? Are the defense is getting worse? What's going on? The average. Here's one for you stat nerds out there. What has been the average goals per game? So if we're adding all the games goals up so far and then dividing it by the amount of games played, let us know what the average is across the league, because it must be higher than the last couple for sure.
Just want to say, yeah, that's quite a fair point to make there. But I just want to point out that the Phantoms took a 3-goal lead going into the first period against Leeds.
Yeah, that's going to be disappointing. Taking that lead into the Night Castle or whatever they call it these days. It is a castle, isn't it?
Yeah, the Castle. That's
Yeah,
right.
the Castle. My brain's not on it today. I have had a very long weekend. I'm sure we'll get to that in a little while. The Phantoms will be disappointed, but the Knights, they're a wagon. They're going to continue to be a wagon, and everything that they've added leaves something to be seen as of yet. I'm going to wait a
I know
couple of
they're
weeks before I
so
judge them.
strong. They're so strong, but from a Phantoms perspective, that's Hull now and leads that they've taken, strong leads, and have blown it.
And they have also conceded 8 there. They conceded 7 against the Bees. I believe they conceded quite a few more goals last week as well. They don't sound like a Slava Kulikov team, letting as many goals in as they are right now. That will change with the defense they've got, and a few more weeks of training under their belt. I'm sure that will change. But they did go on to get a victory the next night, and split weekend for them. We'll get to their Sunday game a little later. But the Wildcats, they played at home versus MK, but in MK, but as the home team. Sorry, they lost 6-2. Now, just because MK are going to put the different colour shirts on, and you're going to play out of their barn at home, it's still a home game for MK, and still a tough ask. You do get the last change. There's a few other bits and pieces that you get to your advantage. But ultimately, MK, with the depth they've got at home this year, and with Swindon not being on the ice, it's a very, very tough ask.
You're going to struggle against Lightning on home ice.
Even at the best of times, mate. Even at the best of times, for them to do that, they're going to need to get on the ice as much as they can, whether it be Cardiff again, and they can maybe mix in sessions at Oxford. I don't know how they're going to do it, but Swindon needs to be getting on ice. They can't just be going limited training into games on the road and expecting to get results. And I know it's through no fault of their own. This isn't a dig to them. I just being realistic about what needs to happen. Lightning, very good start to the season for them. They seem to be sticking some goals in. I think it was 6 last weekend, 6 in the first game of the weekend this weekend. So they're going to be very strong.
They are, and was that the game that Herman got the Michigan in?
Oh yeah, he got the Michigan. Absolute stud. Obviously, we've had Rory on here before. Go check him out, and he will be back on in the future because he is a beauty and he's a very good on the old podcast, man. He sat and chatted real easy to talk to. Good at telling the story. So definitely want to get him back on. In my Instagram scrolling today, I came across a very nice goal from Moscow Venus, and it was a lovely play by Malik. Malik just shows how strong he is. You see the highlight, he's straight out the zone, 3 or 4 quick strides, takes the ice, lovely backhand to Venus, good finish. Malik can play Elite League right now. Right this fucking second. He's got a 2 over the Elite League, like it's time. I thought maybe the end of the year.
Highly of him.
Mate, he's so fucking good. He's so good. He's so strong, so fast. His vision's good. Doesn't panic. Rarely makes many mistakes. Somebody needs to take a gamble on this kid, and I don't think they'll be disappointed. Let's fast forward to the Telford Tigers 6-5 OT victory over the Raiders. Raiders again, they're a strong team, so a good result for the Telford Tigers. Brad Day getting it done. Once again, heard he was epic up in Hull now to follow that up with another victory over the Raiders. And then, to follow the Raiders victory up with an epic performance in Hull. Yeah, what's to say about Brad Day? We've always talked about how good he is, and he's started this season hot.
Yeah, we've said that. We said that in an episode, I think, before the season started, just how valuable he is as a British netminder, just how much he gives and how experienced he is. And given the big situations, he does come up big, and he's proven it this weekend.
So we touched on the Pitbulls sacking. I don't know if he's sacked or left or it's a mutual thing, so I probably shouldn't say sacking, but releasing Owen. They did lose 7-2 at home. Not acceptable. They've had a real tough start to the season. They then lose 10-4 on the road to the Phantoms, conceding 17 goals over the weekend. With the boys that they've brung in and the expectation that was put on them, we did question netminding when when we spoke about it in the off season, and so far shipping that many goals, really, really not acceptable for them. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to be hurting, and changes need to be made. They've changed Owen. I don't know who they're going to bring in, but I'd be interested to see if it's an upgrade, if what they've got up their sleeve. Do they?
Wasn't Owen the captain as well?
He was the captain, exactly. I was going to say, do they go to a completely different leadership group? I mean, is there any need to panic right now? They're only a couple of weeks in. It's interesting, and I like the fact that the season's already throwing up these questions.
It's an interesting one. I just hope that Bristol are going to be stable for the rest of the year. Already this early on, I mean, you can lose a player, you can lose an import that maybe have signed and hasn't quite, gone up to pace. But your captain and being a guy that has been pretty solid in the time that he has spent here, this a pretty big statement. I just hope that everything's going all right there and that they can recover from this and get stronger.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I do wonder though if it's an overreaction this early on. I guess the time will tell, right? Time will tell whether it's a good reaction or not, because we don't know who they're going to bring in. But they've played 4 games, they have 4 losses, they've conceded 29 goals. Their penalty kills running at 80%, their power plays running at 19%. Their shots for 29 and their shots against are 37.5. That's their averages. So it is very surprising to see that. Look, Owen played only one game so far. If that's,
I think he got suspended, didn't he?
Oh yeah, of course he did.
Get suspended.
Yeah, of course he did. But their top point scorer right now, Ed Bradley from the back. I mean, I don't know if this has been updated. This is NIHL stats.wordpress. Always check him out. Great website for all that sort of stuff. They they're not really doing much. They need to figure it out really quickly, because these games start stacking up, and if the losses keep coming, the fans stop coming, and then you're fucked.
Yeah, there's no other way of putting it. They need to turn it around and quick for the sake of not losing fans, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't very politically correct or trying to dumb that down. It really is what it is. Nobody wants to watch a losing team week in, week out. Now, at least if you're competitive every week, people will come. But if you're losing 7-2 and 10-4, people will stop coming. Raiders would be disappointed to lose to the Wildcats. Like we said, with the Wildcats not really being on the ice as much and being out of it, and the fact that the Raiders strengthened a lot. They ran the Tigers close in last night. You would have thought they would have been looking to get a big 2 points at home, but no, Wildcats, very good job by them to go in there and bounce back from the night before 5-1 victory.
Agreed. That's a huge result, 5-1. And when teams go through bad situations, unfortunate ones like they are, it's a real test of the locker room and the team strength and the team bonding. And I always find that if the team's strong, then they'll grind those results in the toughest of situations. And yeah, full credit to them, given the situation, to get 5-1 against a very tough Raiders side.
Bees continue to have a good start to their season on Saturday, beating the Pitbulls 7-2. They put a hell of a performance in at home. They end up losing 3-2 to the Leeds Knights, the champions from last year. Very, very positive start to the season for the Bees. Don Gabaj just continuing to be a fucking great savage. Another hat trick, because why not? He just does it for fun. He's scoring points right now. Balaz, he's picking points up as well. I spoke to Kels in the gym, Josh Kelly, and he says Balaz has been fucking lights out so far this year. He said he's been unbelievable. So they're confident. Look at them
chemistry this year.
Yeah, they do. It's a lot better than it has been in the past couple of seasons. Obviously, still early doors. We talk about no need for Bristol to push the panic button right yet. Same reason there's no reason for the Bees to get the party poppers out just yet. I mean, it's only been 2 weekends, but if they continue like this, there will be a playoff hockey team. That's for sure.
yeah, whilst other teams are not picking up the results, and we had it the other way around. We had bees that are struggling. Let's be honest here. We're eating our words, and come playoff time, these results are going to pay off, and hopefully we'll secure them that spot instead of having to sort of fight for that spot. That could be the difference between fighting and sort of sitting a bit more comfortably come the end of the season, and then having the preparations going forwards into the first round.
Just the one game for the Seahawks this weekend. They're coming off the back of 3 victories. The Tigers, they take them down 3-2, and according to everybody there, it was a Brad Day show. So shout out Brad Day for being a straight savage. Half points in all 4 of their games, sitting right there up the top end of the table where they're going to want to be, and a good start for Matty Davis's Seahawks team.
They're looking great, looking like a really good team. And again, that's the thing, I said it last week, the Tigers have picked up a great result there. And again, it shows the importance of a solid British netminder in Brad Day to go and beat Hull in the form that they're in and give them the strength of their side, and to beat the Raiders. That's a huge 4-point weekend for Telford. So well done to them. But Seahawks only edged out. They still took a point.
A lot of in at a shootout. Like the fact that they got there, the games were right. Games right there, it's close. They're in contention, and that's what we want. I mean, had Bristol lost both their games this weekend, 3-2, I don't think anybody is leaving, even with the fact that it's losses. So the performances affect just as much as the results. If the performances aren't there, then that's when it's time to panic. And then let's round up the weekend. Another 4-point weekend, this time for the Sheffield Steel Dogs. Episode 2, road tripping, coming very soon. It should be out not long after this video, actually. So the Steel Dogs have taken a 4-1 victory at home and then a 3-2 victory on the road. Saturday started early goal for the Steel Dogs. 48 seconds in, I believe, against the Sharks. Sharks then come out and dominate the rest of the period. I'm not sure if the Dogs got another shot on goal that period. Like, Sharks just played very well. Second period, a lot more even. Dogs coming into it a bit more. And then the third period, Dogs just completely took over. Solway boys would be disappointed with their performance. The game itself, not a great spectacle, if I'm honest. Not overly fast, not overly physical. Kind of looked like everyone's feeling each other out a little bit. I saw after the niggliness they had in pre-season, we might have saw a bit more of that, but it took until like the 59th minute to the gloves to hit the ice. Young Scutsy, he had a go with McGill, and that kind of was all she wrote when it came to that side of it. Peacock, he got off the mark. He scored his first goal of the year. Nice goal. Volkanovs, he was exceptional. Probably the best player on the ice for both teams. Looked very good. Super impressed with Kelby. He skates lovely. Mate, skates so good. Very, very underrated player. He's gonna have a good season there for the Sharks. But the next night up in Solway, what a difference it made. Game was fast, it was physical, it was end to end. It was like 2 different hockey teams. It was such a better game to watch. If you were just like neutral like myself, what a game to watch it was. It was close, it was tight all the way through. Both teams, great opportunities. Both goalies made some good saves, plenty of niggle. And Brammer and Connolly dropped the gloves. Linos jumped in. Obviously, I showed you the video, Mark. What did you make of the video? The fact that the linesmen are getting in when the boys clearly they fell over. They want to go, get out of the way.
Need to let him go. Just let him go.
They're big boys. If they want to punch each other in the face, get the fuck out of the way and let them do it. There's a packed out house in there. People come to watch. They want to see some fun stuff, and I want to see some fun stuff. The boys want to get it going and pump their benches up. Why would the linesmen put themselves in that situation? I get it. They touched the ice. People are probably going to argue that. But they were standing back up. They could have easily just stepped back and let them go. The hitting, it was definitely up on the Sunday, much more physical. Guys are finishing their hits a bit more, bumping bodies. Just the whole pace of the game, fantastic. And
when did that happen? At what point in the game did that actually happen?
I was doing commentary, so it was the first period, maybe 12 minutes in.
Because you'll say more. You'll know more than a lot of fans. Myself, there's a lot of players that listen on here that will also know what you're saying. But what a fight actually brings. I mean, I think you had a fight once with Elliot, and I think he tumbled, and then the linesman came in, and you sort of moved out of the way and went again.
Yeah, we did. I mean, by the way, there was a lot of blagging on our part there. We were like, get the fuck out of the way. They're like, we're like, no, like, do it. Just get out of the way now. Otherwise, we're just going to come straight out of the box and we're going to go again. So you might as well just let us go now. Otherwise, you're going to put us in a box. We're going to come straight back out and we're going to drop our gloves. And then, yeah, we go again. And that settles it down.
But that's it. Like, if this tilt had happened, if the Linos let it happen, does it really change the game? Like, I find fights from my experience of watching can really change a game.
Yeah, fighting can definitely change a game. Change the whole momentum. It can change the vibe on the bench. Can give the guys a lift. Ultimately, it can have a negative effect if your guy gets speed bagged. I don't imagine that's going to pump you up very much. So there's absolute swings that can happen on the back of a fight, and these are big boys. They're men. If they want to go at it, get out of the way. No one's asking you to put yourself in danger. Let the boys tire himself out, jump in. What I don't like is when a ref, and then it wasn't in this situation, but just when a ref or a linesman grab one guy and they kind of sure him, they come round, and then the other guy takes a cheap shot. Now, we don't want any of that. I just want to see the guys be allowed to go. They're getting 5 minutes anyway for fighting. Well, at least let him earn it a little bit. Dan Crow, now I picked him for man of the match. He is now a villain at the Shark Tank. He will have a goalie fight this year. I guarantee it here. You heard it here first on 4,000 Academy. Like, he was getting in the mix and guys on top of his crease. He's physical at the back there. He's like a young Ronald Hextall out there.
Love it.
But mate, he performed spectacular this weekend.
Who was for one from each team over the course of the weekend, who are your two picks?
Ooh. Volkanovs was good on Sunday as well. So over the weekend, I will go with him. And I was impressed with young Kyle Carruth. I gave him man of the match on Sunday. Didn't see a lot of him on Saturday. Didn't play that much. But on Sunday, they added him into a different line. He looked good. I think, again, Kel Beattie looked good. Liam Stenton looked good. I mean, we could pick a few guys from each roster. The Sunday was a much better performance. Jonathan Phillips out there. He obviously is good. We know he's good.
Yeah.
And, me, biggest soft spot on the planet for Jonathan Kirk. Guy doesn't make mistakes. I think he zipped one off the bar on a Saturday game, and he's just great for a first pass. So, yeah, there was great performances throughout both teams' rosters. I thought Tim Smith had a good weekend, considering obviously he's been off for...
Good to see him back.
Yeah, been off for a very long time, only just getting back into it, really. He had a great weekend. Ben Morgan was a stalwart, eats pucks for fun, just good on the transition. I think if you was a Solway player, coach, or fan on the Saturday, you go, we might not win another fucking game all year if we play like that. Then on the Sunday, you're probably thinking, we're going to be in every single game if we play like that. And that's just how different this league can be from 24 hours later.
Yeah, more games under their belt. They're going to find their rhythm eventually, and hopefully that's the turning point.
Nice goal from Dunbar as well. Gets the puck at the side of the net, turns short side, fires it far side. Just a lovely, lovely goal. Lots of good performances. Generally, fantastic weekend. Can't wait for you to come to the next time we go there. We're definitely going to be going back to Sheffield. We're definitely going to go back to Solway. And just thanks to everybody that looked after us for the hospitality and just for looking after me, really. And everyone was super polite, super friendly, loads of listeners from both teams. And so many people in Solway especially came up, introduced themselves, said this to the pod. That's awesome. Keep sharing it, keep commenting on it, keep doing all these things. It does help it grow. Mark, anything else from you?
No, just happy to hear of you finally getting up to Solway. I'm gutted I couldn't be there for this one. Passport
Your fucking
issues,
passport sorted out.
but that's going to happen.
I'm just gonna keep moaning at
then.
you. So everyone's like, "Where's Mark?" I was like, "His passport's knackered." They're like, but yeah, I said I will be bringing you back. Oh, speaking of goalie tilts, we had a goalie tilt already this year. We had a goalie tilt already this year. Young Jordan Lorde and young Mr. Phillips chucking nucks early doors. Love it. No one got hurt. No one's feelings got hurt. And the fans were entertained. Right.
Win-win.
Win-win. Let's go. Here for it. And I don't think anyone was disappointed it was in the rink. Didn't see anyone like sit down and cover their eyes when the goalie started dropping a mid center ice. It was just funny because it was a square off and it looked like Sonny was going to come in and fight a player in a melee at center ice. And then the next thing, the Lourdes pushed him out of the way and they take the helmets off. It's a very short fight. You know, not the best. The goalie fell over. It's not very easy fighting in goalie gear, but it's a thought that counts. And it's the fact that the boys want to get after it. Love it.
Yeah, and the excitement of everyone in that rink, I can't imagine. When you see goalies drop their shit and go for it, like there is something like just very special about it.
Yeah, it gets the plums pumping, that's for sure. You get that little adrenaline rush, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. All the boys are fired up from both teams. Yeah, you love to see it. Now, I also love to see nice goals. Roy Herman, player of the week, mate. That was savage. Straight savage. Michigan 2 weeks into the season. What can we say? Just
we knew what he was capable of. We were just waiting for some highlight reel to happen. We said that I think in the summer again.
Well, it was after the Coventry preseason game, wasn't it, where he just went through the middle and dangled everybody and scored in preseason. Yeah, that's when we talked about it. The guy's sick,
and he's got a lot more to bring on a very dangerous roster, just stacked full of offensive threat.
Yeah, some good performances across the board in the National League already from individuals and some strong starts by clubs. It's sure to be a fantastic season. Go check out episode 2 of Road Tripping from this weekend, Solway's and Sheffield's doubleheader games. And we will see you again for another roundup next week. And we'll see you again for another episode before then with, actually, I'm not going to tell you the name. I'll let you know a little later. Mark, this has been fun, mate, as always.
Yeah, love it.
Right, guys, make sure you subscribe, comment, do all the fun stuff. Peace.
Peace.